Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out Entitled Parents. Story 1. Entitled Stepmother wants me to stop breastfeeding. So context here. I'm F28 and had my daughter, EDA, 3 months ago, my wife F35 Taylor. My stepmother Mary 45 and stepbrother Tom 11. Tom and I weren't close until I was pregnant. During the pregnancy he became really interested in me and the baby and actually became quite clingy and needy on me. I felt weird, but when I tried to retreat, Mary and my dad said I was being cruel and miserable and I had the chance to be a good sister but was being selfish and rejecting him. Along with the pregnancy hormones it made me feel guilty, so I let him still come round a lot. Taylor has a chilled attitude, so has kept calm and just said she wants what I want even though he has become resentful of her. I made it clear she was my wife and any disrespect to her would mean he had to leave. He became focused on my bump and was touching it all the time. Mary thinks he's autistic but no doctor has ever diagnosed him. I had EDA 3 months ago and she's the best baby ever. She's so perfect and I've loved seeing my wife become a mother. She's a natural at it and it's depend our love for each other. I've decided to breastfeed and then pump so Taylor can use the bottle to feed as well. It's been going pretty smoothly and honestly it's something that allows us to bond with EDA. Often Taylor will lay with me whilst I breastfeed and we will spend time together with EDA sleeping on my chest. Apparently Tom was very angry when he wasn't allowed into the hospital to see me or the baby, and he kicked off when we said only my mum and Mill were allowed over until 2 weeks postpartum. When they did come over he kept touching EDA's face even though we had asked not to, as we are both in the medical profession so don't want to expose our newborn to germs. When we had to get firm, Mary told us we were being horrible to a child and needed to stop. I had to feed so went to the nursery, but he had followed, and when I started feeding he came in and watched before I realized he was there, and he stared asking me questions about breastfeeding. That was fine. But he's been watching me feed whenever he comes over when I don't realize, and then whenever he's been near me he's started saying booby and reaching for my boobs and saying he wants to try and it's unfair, only EDA gets it. We've tried reminding him that he's a big boy and she's only a baby. But then last week I woke up from a post-feeding nap to find him lead on top of me with his hands and face on my chest area. When we tried telling Mary and my dad that this was getting out of hand, she said we were discriminating against his autism. And we just didn't understand that I was his special person he focused on and I should be honored. I told her it had to stop as I was uncomfortable, and Mary said if I wanted him to stop I would have to stop breastfeeding as it was cruel to tease him without. This is stupid, right? My boobs did get significantly bigger during my pregnancy and have stayed that way after giving birth, so I could see how he would notice them, but it still feels wrong. Edit for context, we don't live with them. I had a traumatic birth where my planned C-section turned into an emergency one with me nearly losing all my blood and having to have a transfusion. This has caused me a lot of emotional distress and confusion postpartum, which has made it easier for stepmom to guilt trip me. Taylor is a great wife and mother, however she is also a doctor, so work is busy and she has had to carry on working after the first 3 weeks post-birth. Story 2. I think I'll do it this time. I wanted to move out since I was 12. I'm 22 now. I'm in a great relationship with my fiancé. We are together for over 2 years as an LDR couple. Even his parents visited here and met my mom. But she doesn't let me to marry my boyfriend because he's foreigner and have different religious background. I'm an atheist and he's deist now, but obviously letting her know this would make things even worse. She's not even accepting another Abrahamic religion. We have a date for our little ceremony, which is December 10th. I didn't tell anyone in my family. I'll just move out and go my own way. We'll live separate after marriage because of visa stuff, but they'd find our 'cause my surname is gonna change. I think I can do it this time and move out. Story 3. My mom is jealous. My mom is jealous of me, 30M, and it's weirding me out. Any slightest indication of my wife being intimate to me, my mom will let my wife know that she needs to be careful with me and that I'm her son first and my wife's husband second. I'm talking about instance when my wife posts on social media or simply talks nice about me. Is that a normal behavior? Should I talk to a professional about it? It's gotten to the point where my wife is having to watch everything she does and it's having an inevitable consequence in my family life. Right now my mom is visiting us for a few weeks, and it has created the most awkward situation in my household. Story 4. Controlling parents. Feel like my parent think they own me and my body, so I'm 31 and never been baby person, but I always though I like my own kid one day. I told parent recently that I might have own kids when meet right person. They said I don't think should have kids, we forbid it only because you never showed affection to baby before, but mind you make comment how I'm really good with my nieces, she look up to me, just don't talk to her like a baby, talk to her like she's own person. And another factor said why shouldn't have kid, that because think cause suffer with depression once time in my life Oswell that don't have right to have baby. But do realize that women who are pregnant get postnatal up depression. So they saying anyone who ever suffer with depression don't have any right to have their own baby? Like WTF? Like anyone had parent feel this entailment that feel like they have rights over your own body? You got remind yourself that you're grown as adult women 31. They don't control you and you don't need their approval anyway. Have few friend who hates kids but love their own? So why am I any different? Taught be family person, so their voice opinions matter, so feel kinda violated the way they think they have this power over my own body. Anyone know how handle parent that like this feel like they have control over my own body? Lucky I don't live with them. Sorry dyslexic, hope can understand my writing and grammar etc. Story 5. My mother thinks she's entitled to alcohol at my wedding. My fiancé, 35M, and I 33, NB, are getting married in 2 weeks in our backyard. We will be having a catering speed for our reception afterwards. We decided to have a dry wedding for 2 reasons. My mom is an alcoholic who is known for making a scene when she gets drunk, and my fiancé has a brother who binge drinks and has had alcohol poisoning on more than one occasion. He doesn't drink all the time, but if he starts he can't stop until he either passes out or someone physically restrains him from getting more. I also have an uncle, mom's brother, and a stepdad who are in recovery and don't need the temptation. Neither fiancé and I are big drinkers, so we decided to just avoid any problems and just have a dry wedding. We will have a less dry reception party / honeymoon with some our friends later on. All of our families have been supportive. My uncle was especially grateful to us for doing this since he takes his recovery very seriously and has been 7 years sober. I sent out wedding invitations 4 months ago and said it would be a dry wedding and asked people not to bring alcohol. Now today I get this call from my mom, who I also sent an invitation to 4 months ago. Mom, is it true you're not having alcohol at your wedding? Me, yes. Fiancé and I decided we didn't want alcohol during our special time. Mom, that's so silly. It's going to make your wedding boring. Me, well, I'm sorry you feel that way, but fiancé and I have made our decision. We want everyone to feel comfortable at our wedding. Mom, clearly, you don't care about my comfort. What if I want to have a little drink to pass the time? Me, like you did at a different uncle's wedding where you got so drunk and made a horrible scene calling uncle's wife a gold digger? Mom, it wasn't my fault. They made the drinks there too strong. Me, right, I really wish you would address this need to have alcohol wherever you go. Mom, I don't need to have alcohol. I just think your wedding will be boring without it. You want to have a fun wedding, don't you? Me, it will be a fun wedding. We don't need alcohol to have fun. Mom, this is so stupid. Why should everyone else be punished just to make it comfortable for a few people? It seems like you care more about uncle and stepdad than anyone else. Me, or maybe I just want to avoid any scenes. Mom, I just told you, that wasn't my fault. Me, just like your DUI isn't your fault? Mom, how dare you bring up that difficult time in my life? I was going through a lot emotionally. What the hell is wrong with you kids? You need to mind your own business. If I want to drink, that's my business. Me, well, my wedding is my business. We do not want alcohol there. That's final. I can't stop you if you decide to pre-game my wedding, but I've already made it clear to uncles and brothers that if you cause a scene, that you are to be made to leave. Mom starts crying. Why do you kids hate me so much? What did I ever do to deserve to be treated like this by my children? Me, are you really ready for me to go down that list? Mom, none of you understand. None of you will ever understand. I'm the mother of the bride, I should be treated better than this. Me, I think I've treated you pretty well during this process. I've acquiesced to your boyfriend whom I don't even know coming to my wedding. I've even given in to some of your other demands. So please tell me how you've been mistreated? Mom, you didn't invite me to go dress shopping. The mother of the bride always goes dress shopping with her daughter. I barely know fiancé because you never bring him around me. How do I know that you're marrying the right person? Me, that's because Aunt made my dress. Mom, sarcastically, well, isn't that just special? Me, sighing, as for the rest, I think you know why. We aren't really close enough for you to have any say in who my significant other is. Honestly, Mom, I'm done with this conversation. If you really feel that strongly about this, I'll understand if you don't want to attend my wedding. Mom, oh, I bet you'd like that, wouldn't you? One way or another you will respect me as your mother. Me, sure, Mom. I'm hanging up now. Bye. Guys, I'm so livid right now. I have half a mind to uninvite her. I spoke to my dad and her brother. My uncle thinks her drinking is getting really bad again and has been wanting to hold an intervention. I told him I'm focused on the wedding right now, but that I definitely agree this was out of line and something needs to be done. What do? I don't want her ruining my wedding, but I'm so tired of dealing with this. Sorry, this is probably above Reddit's pay grade, but I just needed to vent. Update, I sent a text reiterating the rules. She said she knows where she isn't welcome and said she won't attend. My dad told me not to worry about this anymore and that he'll see to it she doesn't ruin my wedding. Update 2, I sent this text to my mom. Mother, at this point I'm going to officially uninvite you from my wedding. I'm not going to allow you to change your mind, and I'd prefer it if you not come to my wedding at all given your poor behavior. At this point, I've decided I don't want any further contact with you unless you decide to curb your toxic behaviors and drinking. I wish you the best, I hope you can find a way to heal, but I can't do this anymore. I'm sorry if this hurts you, but I can't handle you in my life anymore. If you try to force the issue, I'll be forced to take legal action up to and including contacting law enforcement. Please don't contact me again. I went to delete her from my Facebook page only to find a post that she had just written saying how being a mother is a thankless job and how she doesn't understand how she raised rude and judgmental kids. She ended it by saying she hopes her kids get over themselves someday. I'm done. This sucks, but it's been a long time coming. My head hurts. Small update on my profile, https://reddit.com/use/throwaway4me86/s/pbyg5if2av. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.